a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Lenny Kravitz. Leonard Albert Kravitz is an American singer, songwriter, actor and record producer. His retro style incorporates elements of rock, blues, soul, R&B, funk, jazz, reggae, hard rock, psychedelic, pop, folk, and ballads. In addition to singing lead and backing vocals, Kravitz often plays all of the instruments himself when recording. He won the Grammy Award for Best Male Rock Vocal Performance 4 years in a row, from 1999 to 2002, breaking the record for most wins in that category as well as setting the record for most consecutive wins in one category by a male. He has been nominated for and won other awards, including American Music Awards, MTV Video Music Awards, Radio Music Awards, Brit Awards, and Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. He was also ranked number 93 on VH1's 100 Greatest Artists of Hard Rock. On December 1, 2011, Kravitz was made an officer of the Ordre des Arts et des Lettres. He played Cinna in the Hunger Games film series. Early life. Kravitz was born in Manhattan, New York, the only child of actress Roxy Roker and NBC television news producer Cy Kravitz. His father was from a Jewish family. His mother Roxy Roker was of Bahamian and African-American descent, and was from a Christian family. Through his mother, Kravitz is the cousin once removed of television weather presenter Al Roker. During his early years, Kravitz did not grow up in a religious environment. After a spiritual experience when he was 13, he started attending church, becoming a non-denominational Christian. Kravitz was named after his uncle, Private First Class Leonard M. Kravitz, who was killed in action in the Korean War at the age of 19, while defending against a Chinese attack and saving most of his platoon. He was posthumously awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, but was denied the Medal of Honor. In 2014, he posthumously received the Medal of Honor in a ceremony that awarded it to 23 other servicemen who were passed over because of their ethnicity. Kravitz grew up spending weekdays on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, with his parents, attending PS 6 for elementary school, and weekends at his grandmother Bessie Roker's house in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood of Brooklyn. Kravitz began banging on pots and pans in the kitchen, playing them as drums at the age of 3. At the age of 5, he wanted to be a musician. He began playing the drums and soon added guitar. Kravitz grew up listening to the music his parents listened to: R&B, jazz, classical, opera, gospel, and blues. My parents were very supportive of the fact that I loved music early on, and they took me to a lot of shows, Kravitz said. Around the age of 7, he saw the Jackson 5 perform at Madison Square Garden, which became his favorite group. His father, who was also a jazz promoter, was friends with Duke Ellington, Sarah Vaughan, Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Bobby Short, Miles Davis, and other jazz greats. Ellington even played Happy Birthday for him one year when he was about 5. He was exposed to the soul music of Motown, Stax, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Al Green, Stevie Wonder, Curtis Mayfield, Gladys Knight, the Isley Brothers, and Gamble and Huff. Growing up were key influences on his musical style. Kravitz often went to see New York theater, where his mother worked. His mother encouraged his dreams of pursuing music. In 1974, the Kravitz family relocated to Los Angeles when Kravitz's mother landed her role on The Jeffersons. At his mother's urging, Kravitz joined the California Boys Choir for 3 years, where he performed a classical repertoire and sang with the Metropolitan Opera. He took part in Mahler's Third Symphony at the Hollywood Bowl. It was in Los Angeles that Kravitz was first introduced to rock music, listening to the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, The Grateful Dead, Aerosmith, Black Sabbath, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Kiss, Pink Floyd, and The Who. I was attracted to the cool style, the girls, the rock and roll lifestyle, Kravitz said. Kravitz's other musical influences at the time included Fela Kuti, Bill Withers, Marvin Gaye, Pharoah Sanders and Miles Davis. John Lennon and Bob Marley proved later to be influential as well. Kravitz attended Beverly Hills High School. Maria McKee, actor Nicolas Cage and musician Slash were his classmates. In 1978, Kravitz was accepted into the school's well-respected music program. He taught himself to play piano and bass, and made friends with Zorro, who would later become his longtime collaborator. Kravitz wanted to be a session musician. He also appeared as an actor in television commercials during this time. 1989-90, Virgin Records and career debut. With record labels still telling him his music was not black enough or white enough, Kravitz decided to record an album on his own. Kravitz had met recording engineer/keyboardist/bassist Henry Hirsch in 1985 when recording a demo at his Hoboken, New Jersey recording studio. The two shared an interest in using real instruments and vintage recording equipment, as well as a love of R&B, jazz, and rock. Kravitz would go on to collaborate with Hirsch on most of his albums. Kravitz began working on his debut album with Hirsch over the next year and a half, with Kravitz's father paying for the studio time. Kravitz met saxophonist Carl Denson and invited him to play on the song, Let Love Rule. Kravitz was so impressed with his playing that Denson played on much of the album. Denson toured with Kravitz for the next 5 years. In October 1988, after completing most of the recording, Kravitz approached friend Stephen Elvis Smith, who had served as the music supervisor on Lisa Bonnett's spin-off of The Cosby Show, A Different World. Smith had also worked with Kravitz's mother on the hit sitcom The Jeffersons. Kravitz urged Smith to manage his career and assist him in finding a record deal. In less than a month of shopping the recordings, 5 labels were in a bidding war for Kravitz. Eventually a deal was made with Virgin Records in January 1989. And signed by Virgin A&R executive Nancy Jeffries. The label was excited about the music he was making, music inspired by his relationship with wife Bonet and their new daughter, Zoe. On Smith's urging, Kravitz dropped the name Romeo Blue and reclaimed the Lenny Kravitz moniker. About his time as Romeo Blue, Kravitz said, "Ultimately, it got me back to myself. And when I finally did accept myself for myself, music started flowing out of me." Kravitz released his debut album Let Love Rule on September 6, 1989, a combination of rock and funk with a 1960s vibe. Music critics were mixed. Some felt Kravitz was a gifted new artist, others felt he was overpowered by his musical influences. The album was a moderate success in the United States, but became an instant hit outside of the US, especially in Europe. Lisa Bonet directed the debut music video for the title track, Let Love Rule. Stephen Smith signed Kravitz with talent booking agency SAR, who soon were fielding offers for Kravitz, first on a club tour, and then in opening slots for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Bob Dylan, and David Bowie. Having played essentially all of the instruments on the album, Kravitz had to quickly assemble a touring band to support the Let Love Rule release. They included a childhood friend, Zorro on drums, Adam Widoff, LeBron Scott, Kenneth Crouch, and Carl Denson on saxophone. In May 2009, a 20th anniversary deluxe edition of Let Love Rule was released worldwide by Virgin. The double disc includes a booklet with rare photos and 18 additional demos, bonus tracks and live recordings. Kravitz launched a LLR tour of Europe and the United States in support of the re-release, and the principal of his career in Brittany, at Ren. 1991-2001, popularity established. In 1990, Kravitz produced the song, Justify My Love, for Madonna, which he co-wrote with Ingrid Chavez. The song, which appeared on her greatest hits album The Immaculate Collection and created controversy because of its explicit video, went to #1 for 2 consecutive weeks. When MTV banned the video was quickly made available for sale at record stores, and immediately sold over 500,000 copies. Kravitz separated from Lisa Bonet in 1991, amid rumors of an affair between him and Madonna. Kravitz has denied any infidelity. Kravitz and Bonet divorced in 1993. In 1991, Kravitz produced the self-titled album Vanessa Paradis for French singer and actress Vanessa Paradis. He played most of the instruments and co-wrote most of the songs on the album. He also released his second album, Mama Said, which was his first album to reach the top 40. The songs on the album were about Bonet and dedicated to her, documenting his depression over their breakup. Kravitz's biggest single yet, It Ain't Over Till It's Over, went to #2 on the Billboard Hot 100. The single, Always on the Run, a tribute to his mother, featured Slash on guitar, Stand By My Woman, and What Goes Around Comes Around, followed. Sean Lennon co-wrote and played piano on the song, All I Ever Wanted. In 1993, Kravitz wrote Line Up for Aerosmith's Steven Tyler, and appeared on Mick Jagger's solo album, Wandering Spirit, in a cover of the Bill Withers soul classic, Use Me, and played guitar on the title track of David Bowie's The Buddha of Suburbia. That year Kravitz also got to work with Idol's Al Green and Curtis Mayfield. In 1993, Are You Gonna Go My Way was released, reaching number 12 on the Billboard 200, and Kravitz earned a Brit Award for Best International Male Artist in 1994. The title track won a MTV Video Music Award for Best Male Video for the video produced by Mark Romanek, in which Kravitz slung his dreadlocks and wore high-heeled platform boots. During the presentation of the MTV Video Music Awards, he performed the song with John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin on bass. Several singles from the album would follow, including Believe, Is There Any Love in Your Heart, and Heaven Help / Spinning Around Over You. This album was the first to feature guitarist Craig Ross, who has also played on all his subsequent albums. One song, Eleutheria, was influenced by the island Eleuthera in the Bahamas, where Kravitz built a house and recording studio at that time. In 1993, he also released the EP Spinning Around Over You, which included 4 live tracks from his Universal Love Tour. A feature documentary about his 1994 tour entitled Alive from Planet Earth was directed by Doug Nickel and released. In 1994, Kravitz recorded Main Squeeze with Tina Marie from her Passion Play CD. Lenny also made a video to pay tribute to Tina Marie when she suddenly passed away on December 26, 2010. Lenny recorded a funk rock version of the song, Juice, for the Kiss cover album Kiss My Ass, Classic Kiss Regrooved. The track featured Stevie Wonder on harmonica and background vocals. This song was one of 3 radio singles from the album, and was also the album's lead-off track. Roxy Roker, Kravitz's mother, died in California on December 2, 1995, of breast cancer at the age of 66. In 1995, Lenny Kravitz released the album Circus, which went to number 10 on the Billboard chart on the back of his past achievement. However, the album only had 2 hit singles, Rock and Roll Is Dead, and Can't Get You Off My Mind. With 5, Kravitz embraced digital technology such as Pro Tools and samplers for the first time. Recorded in both his own New York City Carriage House and Compass Point Studios in the Bahamas, Kravitz employed engineer/producer Terry Manning to handle the recording duties. 5 introduced his music to an even wider audience thanks to the hit single, Fly Away, being featured prominently in both car manufacturer and airline commercials. 5 would reach number 28 on the Billboard 200, with Fly Away reaching number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, topped both the Billboard Mainstream Rock Tracks and Modern Rock Tracks charts, and reached number 1 in the United Kingdom. He would win the first of his 4 consecutive Grammy for Best Male Rock Vocal Performance at the Grammy Awards of 1999. Other hits from the album included If You Can't Say No, that was also remixed by dance producer Brian Transo, and I Belong to You. For the I Belong to You video, Lenny can be seen without his signature dreadlocks. In 1999 he produced and sang with Cree Summer on her solo album Street Ferry. His cover version of the Guess Who's hit, American Woman, won him another Grammy at the Grammy Awards of 2000, and helped the Guess Who's song reach a new audience. Kravitz's version of the song originally came from the soundtrack of Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me and was added to 5 as a bonus track in 1999. Kravitz worked on 2 songs for Michael Jackson's Invincible album released in 2001. A snippet of Another Day has leaked, and the full version was officially released on the album Michael in 2010. Kravitz released a greatest hits album in 2000. It proved to be his most successful album, reaching on the Billboard 200 and selling nearly 11 million copies worldwide, and ultimately becoming one of the most commercially successful albums of the decade. The single, again, earned him his 3rd consecutive Grammy for the Best Male Rock Vocal in the Grammy Awards of 2001 and peaked at number 4 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Kravitz also co-wrote the song God Gave Me Everything with Mick Jagger in this period, appearing on Jagger's 2001 solo album God Is in the Doorway and in the film Being Mick. In 2001, Kravitz participated in a benefit auction for the Red Hot organization, in conjunction with Amazon.com to increase public AIDS awareness, which ran from February 28 until April 11, 2001. The event featured rare RHO memorabilia and the work of Rolling Stone photographer Mark Seliger. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?